Hi, Mono here, the host of the Tokyogamelife podcast about gaming culture in Japan. I post a lot of photos about gaming life in Tokyo on social media, but I thought I'd also share some photos here on YouTube in a new video series called Tokyo Game Gallery. All of the photos in this video were taken by me. Is watching a video of somebody explaining a bunch of pictures good YouTube content? I don't know, but let's find out together. All these photos were taken in the past few weeks, and they can be broken down into 4 sections. A typical game store, a Kirby pop-up shop, a Mika Pikazo exhibit, and random photos. Let's start. This is a big display board at Yodobashi Camera for the upcoming Splatfest between Shiver, Fry, and Big Man. Yes, they actually make these big display boards solely for the Splatfest. Only Splatoon 3 could get such treatment. But the fun part is the bottom, where you actually have stickers to vote for your favorite idol. As you can see, Shiver is kind of running away with it. If you want to win the Splatfest, if you want to get those sea snails, I recommend voting for Shiver. I know I will. Here are some typical pre-order boxes for games coming up in Japan. We've got Super Bomberman R, Momotaro World, and Armored Core 6, which I guess is already out now. These display boxes are pretty common in Japan, especially after a Nintendo Direct, so if you go to a shop maybe 1 or 2 days after a Direct, you can see them. The one to really look out for is Momotaro World, which is a sequel to the first Momotaro Dentetsu game for the Switch. That game sold over 4 million copies in Japan alone, making it one of the highest-selling games in Japanese history, and likely the highest-selling Japanese exclusive game ever. I'm a bit curious if they're going to localize it for the Switch in the West. Now, it's not an impossibility, so keep an eye out for it. And here is the display for Tamagotchi Uni, the brand new Tamagotchi device that is more advanced than ever. It has Wi-Fi, it has an online space where you can interact with other people. It's really crazy how advanced it is compared to a lot of other virtual pets. Moving away from the big box stores, this is Geo, which is kind of like a Japanese Blockbuster. You can rent manga and movies, not games, but you can buy games. And they do have some used ones, as you can see here. There's Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. I'm not sure why Ultra Sun is more expensive. I always prefer Lunala. Some download cards for Everybody's 1-2 Switch and Disney Illusion Island. Typically, Nintendo first-party games always get download cards, but I don't often see them for third-party titles. Sometimes a big one like Monster Hunter will get it, so seeing an Illusion Island download card is kind of surprising. And fun fact, I never saw an Everybody 1-2 Switch download card before the game came out. It's getting this weird reverse marketing push where instead of advertising it heavily before the game comes out, they've been marketing it more now that it's available. This is Natsumon, which is from the developers of Boku no Natsuyasumi. This is actually selling quite well in Japan. You can kind of think of it as the Breath of the Wild of the Boku no Natsuyasumi series. You can fly, you can climb. It's really just a big summer vacation adventure that gives you a lot of freedom. I'm hoping it comes to the West. Japan definitely has a lot of Splatoon amiibos. Recently, these Marie ones have been restocked, I think for the upcoming side order content. But really, if you want any Splatoon amiibo in Japan, you're not going to have to search far for it. Another small display, this is Star Ocean The Second Story R, the remake and or remaster of Star Ocean 2. This is one of those classic JRPGs that I haven't gotten around to yet, but I really want to give this one a try. Unfortunately, it's shoved in between a lot of Mario games, so I don't know when I'll get to it, but before I die, I'll play it. Another display, we've got Pikmin 4 right next to Armored Core 6. Both involve space, so I guess that makes sense. And another Pikmin display, you've got the cute Pikmin on the boxes. Again, pre-order boxes for Super Mario RPG and Super Mario Wonder. I saw these right after the Direct in June, so yeah, they put these out quite early. Again, there's no secret screenshot or no secret information on the back of the box, but it is fun to hold a box and think, whoa, I'm holding Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Again, I mentioned the reverse marketing for Everybody 1-2 Switch. It does have a small display board, so I guess that might convince somebody. Another fun advertisement for Pikmin 4 at Yodobashi Camera in Shinjuku. This is one of my favorite game shops in Japan because it has a pretty unorthodox layout and a lot of ads I don't really see elsewhere. This is kind of interesting. It's a demo box. So you scan the QR code and then the Pikmin 4 demo will be saved to your Nintendo account. I'm really curious about how many people actually use this, but it does make a lot of sense. It is pretty easy to scan something and then, wow, you magically have a demo. And if you watch the Mario Direct, you can see here, it's the new Mario Red OLED. Again, they had the pre-order boxes out pretty quickly. Some Louis plushies that I want to buy and maybe burn for the good of humanity. There's a lot of really fun merch that you probably don't know about because it's really aimed towards little kids, like this fake Animal Crossing camera. I'm not sure exactly how it works. It looks like you just put in some slides and then print it out or Honestly, I don't really know, but it's there. More fun Nintendo merch for kids. You've got these bead Kirby patterns. You make the beads in the shape of the Kirby. Enough said. And the final one for the game stores. These are new Super Mario Bros. Wii branded toys. I don't know if these have been sitting on the shelf for a decade or they've just been reprinted over and over again, but it was a bit jarring to come across these. All right, moving on to the Kirby pop-up shop, Kirby Tokimeki Crane Fever, a crane game themed pop-up shop. So here's the display. This is actually in Bandai Namco Cross Store, which is a big shopping complex within Sunshine City. It's more heavy on the Bandai side than the Namco side. Here's the entrance to the pop-up shop. As you can see, they really went all out with the decorations. You're really coming here to take photos and then buy merch. A photo spot of a big DJ Kirby plushie with the crane game in the background. And if you want that DJ Kirby plushie, you can't get one in that size, but we will be seeing from it very soon. This is a Nurigurumi photo spot where you bring your plushie and then you put it in this box and then take a photo of it with a fun background. Sadly, I don't really carry my Kirby plushies with me at all times, so I wasn't able to take advantage of it, but I'm sure somebody did. More displays for other pop-up shops. Even though this was crane game themed, they did have photo spots from past Kirby pop-up shops. So it is kind of like the Kirby pop-up shop all-stars here. Here's something from the previous Onsen Kirby pop-up shop. Sadly, they didn't have this on sale, but you can steal it if you're fast enough. And yes, here they are, the DJ Kirby plushies. Very, very shiny, aren't they? These are about $20 or $25, depending on how bad the yen is. A close-up of the Kirby plushies, and guess what? I have another picture of the Kirby plushies here. So don't worry about them getting sold out. Here's another big plushie, but this is just purely for a photo spot. You can't buy it, sadly. Another huge Kirby plushie. And of course, they had a lot of other merch. There's a lot of really unorthodox Kirby merch out there. These are some hair clips. You've got a can badge holder. A can badge is like a pin badge, like a metal badge that you pin to your shirt or your backpack. Of course, clear files, the lifeblood of Japan. And then a lot of blind box Kirby toys. You don't know what you're going to get until you buy it. But if it's from Remint, it's pretty high quality. So you can't really complain about whatever you get. A bunch of Kirby stickers. If you see on the lower left, you can see that big retro Kirby. That's on my laptop right now. Here's a wide shot of the pop-up shop. As you can see, it has these crane game places where you can just stand and take a photo, but there's no actual functioning crane game, which is a bit odd. Another shot of the outside. You can tell they really went all out with the decorations. On the left, you've got the automaton, which is this weird instrument, but the Kirby branded one is quite popular. And on the right, you can see it's a Kirby's Adventure shirt. It was about $50 or $60. I'm not quite sure about the quality, but it is pretty different from a lot of other gaming shirts, right? Here's a couple of gacha machines. On the left, it's themed after the pop-up shop. The middle is themed after Kirby in the Forgotten Land. If you remember in that game, there was a digital gacha, so this is the real deal. You could have both a digital version and a physical version. It might not be easy to tell what is on the right, but these are inflatable balloons. So yes, you can have a small fry inflatable balloon. One cool thing at the pop-up shop is this. It's called a Gatapon. You rotate it and then it drops out a ball. And depending on what color the ball is, you get a prize. So there's a Kirby one, a Waddle Dee one. I did do the Kirby one and I got the lowest prize, which is just a metal badge that you can put on your backpack. Moving on from Kirby, I also went to Mika Pikazo's art exhibit, Illy Girl. Mika Pikazo, if you don't know, is the artist for Fire Emblem Engage. I think that's where a lot of Nintendo fans first heard of her, but she was prominent before that. So this is the entrance of Tokyo Plaza, and I actually had no idea this event was happening, but once you see this, it's hard to ignore. Ironically, the event is not in Tokyo Plaza. It's a short walk away, but this is probably more eye-catching, right? And in the exhibit, it has mostly pieces that are similar to what you see on the right. Her digital art displayed in these kind of 3D boxes, and they're often lit up from the back, so they look really vivid. Here's where the actual exhibit is being held. Again, really eye-catching. It's really hard not to enter once you see that. And the exhibit was totally free, but they get you on the merch. One of the cool things at the exhibit are these live painting videos. This is a recorded video of her drawing something, but those pieces are in the exhibit, and it's really cool to see how she makes them. If you're a digital artist, you're not really just an artist, you also have to be really strong on the tech side. Here's a couple of other pieces. Here's a shot from inside the gallery, so there's a lot of international as well as Japanese fans. Some more art pieces. These are still images, but they do have videos of them in the exhibit. And a lot of the pieces look like this, what I explained earlier. They are in these sort of 3D boxes with something in the background, and they're lit up. There are some animated versions as well. Here's the merch table. They sell books, they sell postcards, they sell clear files, stickers, badges, anything you can think of. It is a bit pricey. A group of 3 clear files was 1,500 yen. So unless you're a really hardcore Mika Pikazo fan, I think it's an easy skip. Some other odd pieces at the exhibit. There is Nezupop. They had a big version that was white. They had a colored version that is more figure-sized. And on the right is another piece from Mika Pikazo. It's really hard to parse, but it is 2 people looking at each other. Wrapping up with some random photos that I just stumbled across in my daily life here in Tokyo. You've got some Street Fighter themed eye drops. So if you want to get Hadouken in the face, here you go. And on the right, I saw this at Family Mart. It's just a Puyo Puyo Light. Puyo Puyo is incredibly popular in Japan, way more than Tetris. Pretty much everybody in Japan has played it. So you might be surprised about how much Puyo Puyo merch there actually is in Japan. A golden Wii Wheel I found at Geo. I always feel these things should be like $1 million, but they're actually quite cheap. This one was around $4. However, you could only get them through Club Nintendo, so I assumed it was somewhat rare, and it's always fun to run into them, but they're more common than you'd think. On the right is an advertisement for the Fortnite and Jujutsu Kaisen collaboration. It's always weird to just see Fortnite ads, even if it has a Japanese IP collab. Here are some Armored Core 6 displays at Ikebukuro Station. I always assumed Armored Core was fairly niche, but Armored Core 6 really got a AAA type of marketing push, so it's really cool to see this random Japanese gaming franchise become such a big deal now. This is Pikmin Stationery at Sunstar, which is a stationery store aimed towards kids. You can see they've got Pikmin pens, Pikmin notebooks, Pikmin pouches, Pikmin journals, and, of course, clear files. These are my 2 box copies of Pokemon Stadium 2, or Pokemon Stadium Gold and Silver, as it's known in Japan. If you look closely on the left, you can see that it's actually still in the plastic, but this has been repackaged. However, on the right, this is a brand new, totally unopened copy of Pokemon Stadium 2. A few months ago, Surugaya, which is a used game shop, got dead stock from the N64 days, so they had a lot of brand new Game Boy and Nintendo 64 games. They were only selling it for about 300 yen because they just had so many. So I thought, well, I might as well buy a brand spanking new copy of Pokemon Stadium 2, even though I already own it. This is something fun. It's called Pikmin Kore Nanda, or Pikmin What Is This? They show a zoomed in image of something, and you have to guess what it is. So, can you guess what is this image? The Pikmin are also wondering, and of course the answer is croissant. Is that what you guessed? I assume everything that is in the quiz is actually in Pikmin 4. I don't think they would make something new solely for the quiz. Here's another train station ad for Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. A lot of the time they have these kind of lifestyle ads where it's somebody playing the Switch in an unorthodox place. If you thought Karen playing on a roof was something, in Japan they're playing all over. Here he's playing on, a dock? I don't know where he is, but he's really enjoying the breeze and, of course, Tears of the Kingdom. This is how I feel when I play the game. Another fun train ad. This is for Pikmin 4, and it's got the Game Boy Advanced SP. I never thought I would see a Game Boy Advanced SP in an advertisement in 2023, but here we are. These are some Mario Power-Up Mini Memo stickers. I bought these actually my first trip to Nintendo Tokyo ever, but I really haven't used them. However, recently I have been using them a bit more, so hopefully I run out eventually. This is in a Japanese arcade, and this machine is a little hard to describe. You basically use a scoop to pick up those pink little plastic balls in the background, and you drop them on this pusher, and then it pushes the prize into the hole. However, Rick and Ku here are pure decoration. You can't actually get them. And finally, there was a Tamagotchi pop-up shop not too long ago. This is called Tamagotchi Study Club. It's a collaboration with Mekri, which is a Japanese clothing brand. On the left, we've got the real-life Kuchipachi that I took a picture with. And then on the right is Mamechi, sadly in statue form. They did advertise that the real Mamechi would be available to take photos of, but I didn't see him. I guess it was Kuchipachi's shift. So they sell a lot of mostly kind of black and white shirts with Tamagotchi on them. I really like this keychain on the bottom left. However, it was 1,500 yen, so I kind of skipped it. Some more collaboration merch. That Tamagotchi Study Club hat looks really fun, but it is 4,000 yen. So again, skip. Some more fun Tamagotchi merch. You've got this mat based on Mamechi, and you also have another shirt. Well, that was episode 1 of Tokyo Game Gallery. I'd definitely like to do more in the future. Feel free to leave a comment saying what I could do better. And hey, if you want to know more about the gaming scene in Tokyo, you can check out my podcast, Tokyo Game Life, on your favorite podcast app or right here on YouTube. Every episode, I feature a gaming-related place to visit in Tokyo or highlight a gaming cultural element of Japan. See you next time. Matane!